Five.
Hey, Sean, everybody.
Hey, hello.
We're getting pretty regular at these webinars, Sean.
Yeah, it's a good cadence, and I love the attendance on these. It's going up and up.
Yeah, it really is a testimony to the flywheel of ideas that come in from our users, our product teams, our engineering teams, putting them in place. And what we're about to walk through is what we firmly believe is the most it's the most powerful way for roofers to impact their business, to maintain and grow. And it's the complete package. When we first launched, we were only opportunities. That's what we had. And now we've got a whole process in place to really assist roofers with their business. And so, without further ado, let's get in and talk about what a honey hole is and what we think a honey hole is. So, just to lay the stage, I think the common theme that I hear from roofers is it's been a tough 6 months. It's been a tough year, and I think a lot of that is storms are quieter. There's been less of catastrophic storms across the country. The economic conditions as a whole, right? What's happening in the country? There's a lot of indecision and concern out there. We're obviously not going to get into that, and it's just been more difficult in the space as a whole. And so people are putting more money into digital. Then it gets more crowded. It gets more expensive. Door to door is really tough to do. We all know that keeping those teams in place and keeping them engaged is tough to do as we get into the season, and they're expensive. So, the thing I was thinking about this morning is the economy's gotten more difficult. People are getting more concerned, but here's the secret, everyone: the roofs haven't stopped aging, right? They're still going bad. So it's not the end of the earth. It's just a matter of how companies can be smarter, more efficient, and more surgical with their money to be able to get into the growth. So, as many of you have heard me say 100 times, we're helping roofers find unique, high intent, high demand, right? This home has a bad roof. We see it. There's nothing better than a picture of a roof to say something's going on here. Where the homeowner has the financial capacity, where the homeowner looks like a responsible homeowner. It's a bad roof and a great homeowner. Let's go on, Sean.
Yep. Do you see it?
Yeah. So here's the honey hole loop, right? We're going to talk about the zip analyzer. We're going to talk about finding opportunities, our easy button, how you take opportunities and get them on the street and turn opportunities into conversations. And then we're going to talk about Halo. Halo is our brand new product, which is job site targeting done what we consider to be the right way. So let's just break right into it, John.
Yeah, love it.
So we all have a bias. I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of roofers who are thinking, oh, well, I want to get some money on the street in this area or maybe over here, but we're getting through all the noise. Even if you've lived in a community for 50 years, you still don't know everything about different zip codes. So what we've created is the ability to look at a broad geography, a county, several counties, and find out where are the best zip codes, what have the best houses, what have the best a number of owners versus renters, medium income, family composition, education level, tenure of owning the house, the value of the house, storm activity, how much activity is going on in that area for roofers as a whole by permitting. So you can look at it in this area. We're talking Franklin County in Ohio, and we've been able to identify the top 3 zip codes that of those 3 zip codes in that county, they have 58% of all qualified opportunities live there. Put your money there, right? You don't have to do the whole county. You don't have to do an every door direct mailing. You don't have to knock everywhere. Those 3 zip codes are holding a lot of fish in your honey hole. So now that you've found your zip codes, how do we action it? Most of you are aware of this, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but it's bad roofs and great homeowners, right? And it's looking in those zip codes and it's finding the roofs that are showing as a condition red from EagleView. The computer vision has looked at that roof and determined streaking, discoloration, missing tiles, shingles, cracked, all the things that you as roofers know that this roof is facing a problem. And many of you have heard me say it. If a plane can see it from 6,000 feet, again, EagleView uses planes. This is not satellite imagery. This is coming from a plane, proprietary cameras and technology from EagleView to be able to determine what's going on with that roof. And then looking at the homeowner. Do they have the financial capacity? It doesn't mean they're rich. It just means that they've got the ability to have a conversation about paying for financing a new roof. Are they a responsible homeowner? Do they look like a homeowner that, while never getting excited about a new roof, understands the role of a roof in the protection of their loved ones and their investment? Those are the areas that we're looking at. It's $1.79. You get 1,000 of these, and then you go to our easy button, which is fairly new, but the adoption has been wonderful. The comments that we're getting back are thank you. Because what we were doing in the past is creating opportunities and saying, okay, go action them. And we heard you say, yeah, but how? What do I do? So we quickly built the ability to launch a 2-touch mail campaign. The first touch of mail is a letter. This is a letter that gets opened. It's addressed to the homeowner. It's got their name on it. Inside, it's calling them by their first name. It's got a picture of the home right there. And each and every contractor out there can customize it with your logo, your company name, phone number, email address, who it's coming from. This is a personal mail from your company to homeowner saying, hey, there's something going on with your roof. We'd like to come out there and talk to you about it and walk you through your options. Then 7 days later, again, a customized, fully branded postcard goes out, again, with the picture of the home, again, addressing the homeowner by name, saying there's something going on there's something going on with your roof. Let's talk about it. Let us come out, no pressure, sales pitch, to just tell you what's going on and walk you through what your options are. We're seeing response rates of 3 to 4% on this. When it's paired with some degree of digital touch, many of you have seen our message that came out a couple of weeks ago of the power of 3. So a 2-touch mailer and some digital, whether it's an email or a geofence on the home, or using a company such as El Toro to be able to get some content in that home. The power of 3, we're seeing responses in the 6, 7, 8% when it's that third touch is in place. So let's go on.
I want to quickly, give a shout out to our design team, who I feel have done a fantastic job on. The reason for that high percentage of response rates is certainly, I don't know if you can see it, it's a little small here, but the look and feel of the mailer itself is just phenomenal, right? It's just absolutely stunning. But also the text that goes into the mailers, there's been so much user research done on that, where we actually had kind of focus groups, and we understood, okay, what text is more compelling, what action action is more compelling. So a lot has gone into what ended up being just 2 pieces of paper, but a lot of research and design actually has gone into that.
Yeah, we've actually contracted with a couple psychologists to understand human behavior. So there's one less thing for you all to do in your daily job. You find your opportunities, you engage, you get the mailers out there, then you go out and you sell and you replace roofs or take a holiday, right? So Halo is our brand new product, and I am personally over the moon on this. I think it's the piece that will really enable a roofer to go from zip analyzer to find out where to go, find opportunities, mail them, quote, get a job. You get that job, or you're in an active quote, you really narrowed in on that honey hole. Get more bait in the water, right? Get it in the water, and Halo does that. Halo allows you to take an address, and we will automatically find the 100 best opportunities in that neighborhood. Then you launch all through Halo, again, a 2-touch first-class letter and postcard that's going to go out to those homeowners and say, we're doing a job at this address. While out there, we saw that your roof was facing an issue. We're going to be in the neighborhood. We'd love to come by and talk to you. We've all gotten those, I'm in the neighborhood letter. We all know that it's BS. It's not true. It's an every door direct going out to everybody trying to say that, hey, I'm going to be there. This is specific. It has the address where you're doing the job. It's got their name. It's branded for you. It's getting past the skepticism on junk mail because it's addressed to the individual and it's telling them what they're doing. So you can just picture a homeowner going to take their dog for a walk and they're thinking, hey, I just got this letter. I'm going to go see what they're doing. And they're going to alter their route to go, oh, wow, I see they're doing a roof replacement. They're getting material staged here. Maybe they even go knock on the door and ask the homeowner, hey, I see you've got X, Y, and Z redoing your roof. Tell me about them. Oh, they're such a good company. I felt I got a good deal. They're taking care of it. I financed it. You're getting that referral, that gold referral, because you're telling that other homeowner you're doing something right here, right? You're going to have your trucks there. They're going to see the activity. And we all know, roofers know, when you get a job in a neighborhood, you know there's more there because the homes were probably made about the same time. They've impacted the same weather patterns. It's a known fact, but now we're bringing this job site targeting in a much more specific way. And so we're so excited to get this out there, and it completes that loop. Zip Analyzer, where do I go? Find opportunities, get to the homeowner, mail it. Now, Halo, get more, right? So every job should turn into 2, 3, I don't know, 4 jobs, depending on how good you are. So everyone's doing circles. The job site mailer is not a new concept, but it's still spraying and praying. It's still saying, send out 300 postcards to this area that I'm in the neighborhood. It doesn't work. It's a waste of money. You've got to be specific. You've got to address the homeowner. You've got to tell them something's going on, a picture of their home. So they read it and they like, oh my, maybe I should call these people, right? So it's a very specific way to get out there in front of them out there. So Stephanie's got, can that be automated with a CRM integration like Job Nimbus? And can you control the timing? Stephanie, you're reading our minds. So that is our next step, is to be able to integrate this within a CRM and or a ordering platform like a QXO, to be able to, when you're placing the order for your material, boom, it gives you a pop-up. Do you want to do a Halo mailer? Yes, boom, you're right there. So can you control the timing? Right now, no, but I think I'm talking to you later today, Stephanie. We'll dive into that. That's not a bad idea, because what we've tried to do was, by going with a first-class mailer, we want that letter to show up on or before your material starts showing up and you're doing your work, right? A standard letter wouldn't get there in time, but I think that's a nice thing that we should write down, Sean, and put on the production list, because it may be doing a job in 2 weeks, right? And so you don't want that letter to show up for the next week. You want it to show up 2-3 days before your material is getting there. Thanks, Stephanie. So I'm going to turn it over to Batman here, or Robin, depending on your point of view, salt and pepper here. Sean, take us through this live. So everything we're talking about is there today. You don't need to wait. It's all ready to go.
Yep, that's right. It's all ready to go. And, again, props to our design team. I can't mention them enough, because, it not only looks and feels good, but our engineering team has put in a lot of effort in obviously getting all of this right? So starting with the where, right? The zip analyzer. So Fred spoke about that. You can enter, a list of zip codes. You can upload a list, or you can enter one or more counties. So let's say I enter Fairfax, Virginia, which was my home for many years. I click on analyze. So right there, it has done a little bit of analysis, but really, once you hit the pay button, what you end up getting is this entire report on that particular geography that you entered. So Fred mentioned briefly. But we look at about 64 plus data points. So we're looking at owner to income ratio. We're looking at year ranges of homes built in that particular geography, income levels, education levels. We're also looking at home sizes. Now, when you create an account for the first time, you can have one or more profiles. So in that profile, you can mention, these are the typical home sizes that we go after and income ranges that our customers fall in, right? Just to give an example, maybe you're a metal roofer, you're only going after 3,000 square feet homes plus high income folks, right? Or maybe you don't care. Maybe you're going after all home sizes and income levels. So setting that will influence this zip analyzer customized to what target market you're going after, right? So based on that, this scoring happens. This takes, maybe a few minutes. You get a PDF sent to your email. The PDF looks something like this, or where we give you, these are how many homes that we think would be opportunities for you to pursue, 58,000 out of a total of 204,000 homes. We give you the top zip codes, stack ranked in here, and we see some information that we've used to analyze, like what do the ownership percentages look like and what do the median incomes look like. So yeah, you see all of that. So that's Zip Analyzer. So now you know the where. Now you want to go after the who, right? Which is the find opportunities. So this one, a lot of people, are already using it and aware of it. But the UI is also very straightforward, where you enter a geography again. So let's say, based on this particular zip analysis, I realized, okay, 22101 and 22066, which is, I believe, Tysons and McLean, that region, those two are my top zip codes. So I enter that, and we do, again, some rudimentary analysis to figure out, okay, how many opportunities do we think there are? So let's say there are about 4,000 opportunities here out of a total of 15,000 homes.
And John, let's make sure to mention that it's also an inventory check. If one of your competitors bought 1,000 or 2,000 2 days ago, you're not going to get access to those 2,000. They have them for 2 months to go action. The same as if you buy 2,000 today and your competitor comes in 2-3 days later, they're not going to see yours. These are unique to you. You have time to engage and convert.
Yeah, and we built this because when we heard consistently from the industry that the biggest pain point that they face from opportunities or leads, traditionally as they're called, that they find is it's the same lead sold multiple times, right? And we wanted to intentionally avoid that issue, where we make sure that we don't end up reselling these opportunities. Okay, so once you select, you can select 1,000 opportunities, and then you have the easy button, right, where you can set up a direct mail campaign with just a push of a few buttons, where you actually enter your logo and your some basic information, your company phone number, address, all of that, and then you preview mailers, and then it's the two-touch mailing campaign that Fred was talking about. You hit send, it basically goes out immediately, the letters, and then a week later the postcards go out. Fred, I think that's covering most of it.
Yeah. I'm just answering a question from Stephanie. She's asking how fresh is the data? And Stephanie, you're on fire today. There is a time frame, right? EagleView could have flown 3 months ago, right? We had a customer who did a halo and got an inquiry. They said, "Hey, I replaced my roof recently." Yeah, that's gonna happen. We do a permit check for any permit against the address, because not every state, county, and contractor plays by the same rules. If they've had any permit in that home at all, we remove it from the list. But out of a list of 1,000 or 2,000, you could easily have 10, 15, 18 who have indeed replaced the roof. We don't see that as a bug. It's more of a feature. We've identified that, that roof did need to be replaced, and it was.
Yeah, and then the last feature, which is the Halo, which is a brand new capability that we just launched, as Fred was mentioning. It's a very similar flow to what you've seen in the Find Opportunities, but you enter an address. We are intending soon to also have the capability where you're able to upload a list of addresses. But I think this is where integrating with CRMs and integrating with so that's sort of our plan. We already have the capability to integrate with at least one CRM. So come talk to us if and we'll see how best to equip you, because the idea and the goal here is to have this be completely hands off, right? Where you get a opportunity, you convert that, and once you actually either order materials or you're ready for the job, it automatically sends the 50 mailers or 100 mailers, and and you're getting, that's that flywheel loop, right? You're getting calls, and boom, it goes on. So yeah, we hope and we don't intend for you to actually come and use this UI as is, but that's the longer term goal here.
But you can. Baby steps.
All right. So yeah, that was all the demo.
So the reason we wanted to do a demo, everyone, is so you can see this is all live. This is not sitting on Shyam's computer. This is all out there for everybody to access, play around with, book a call with us, talk with our team, get any questions answered, and get cracking. And the final thought I'll leave you with is every roof has a story to tell. We all know that. You're all roofers. You drive down the street, you look at every roof, right? You're seeing what's going on. Oh, that's certainty, that's GAF, that's built, but you can't do that at scale. You can't do every street. You can't do every neighborhood. And that roofs are aging. And our primary mission is to help roofers understand what's going on with the roofs, how to get to the right homeowners, and how to keep it going. Generate that revenue, grow that business in a smart, focused way that is keeping tabs on your expense and delivering a significant amount of value. So once again, Fred from Reworked, Shyam from Reworked, we're both available pretty much anytime. Fred at Reworked.ai and Shyam at Reworked.ai. And we really appreciate everybody taking the time out of their busy day. So now you've got no excuses. The product is built. Go get cracking on it, book a call, or get some opportunities and get some roofs. Thank you, everybody. Stephanie, we'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks, all.